Hey friends, my name is Alan and welcome to the first show of the Lucid Future Show. On the Lucid Future Show here, I'm going to be sharing and breaking down with you guys the sauce on AI agents, tools, and workflows specifically for creators, coaches, and entrepreneurs. In today's episode, in this maiden voyage, I'm going to be breaking down for you how I leveraged AI agents and tools to build the Velocity of Money calculator with my friend Cassidy Warren. The Velocity of Money Calculator is a new underwriting app for real estate investors that Cassidy can share with his audience and community to add more value to his core offer. He can release this as a SaaS product, which we're going to do together to generate more revenue. And he can also release a part of it as a free tool so that he, as a sort of a lead magnet, to bring more people into his ecosystem. On top of that, I'm going to be sharing with you guys how I made some bonus resources for him using AI tools to create a full AI-enabled marketing system for him, a brand voice guide, email copy, landing page copy, all with just a few clicks and keystrokes, leveraging AI to its fullest. So let's dive in. Before we go on, I just wanted to share with you guys something that we'll talk about later in the video, but I made available the 11 most powerful marketing skills that I use in my AI workflows. And so these are ways to turn your Claude Code or other AI agent into your strategist, your copywriter, your content engine that actually knows what it's doing. You can check it out at lucidfuture.ai/skills. First, here a bit of background about Cassidy. Cassidy is an entrepreneur who went from being an engineer in corporate to living in a van to buying and investing in boutique hotels, short-term rentals, ADUs, etc. Today, he's built a $13 million portfolio. Fun fact here, Cassidy and I met in Ascension Leadership Academy, a leadership training, breakthrough emotional intelligence training program in Austin, Texas, here in January. And this is Cassidy and me next to trainer Chris Lee and the glorious ATX29 cohort of Ascension Leadership Academy. Shout out to the homies. As a coach, Cassidy's got this growing ecosystem. So at the top of his funnel, Cassidy has the For Your Own Good podcast. He's got 30 episodes already created, another 30 already recorded, or 30 episodes published already, and another 30 already recorded in the pipeline and more to come. He's also got 10,000 subscribers on his YouTube, growing to 1 million soon. Shout out Cassidy. Along with an active Instagram and podcast production agency. So it's a content machine that attracts deals, capital partners, and community members for his core offer. And Cassidy's core offer is a community for real estate investors, specifically focused on short-term rentals and boutique hotels. It's a private community. It's $9,000 a year. They have two weekly calls, a WhatsApp group, real deal walkthroughs. They do live events and more. And on top of that, Cassidy is managing his own hotel portfolio of like hotels, short-term rentals, and ADUs. He owns, among others, the Marlowe in Solvang, California, and then properties across a bunch of other states. And so here you can see he's got his community offer. This is all at CassidyWarren.com, his Instagram following, his YouTube channel, and his podcast. Everything that Cassidy teaches is built around his own designed Velocity of Money framework. And the core idea here is that real estate wealth comes from how fast capital recycles and also, or not from cash flow. And also, and this is the thing that Cassidy believes most people don't realize with real estate investing, is that it also leverages incredible tax savings and tax advantages for potential investors. And so you could take what would be your tax bill. So if you have a dual income household with $250,000 or $300,000 or so a year in income, you might have a tax bill that's 6 figures. If you invest in the right real estate deals, specifically in short-term rentals and boutique hotels, you can write off that entire tax bill and roll that, instead of giving it to the government, you can roll that into an investment property that appreciates in equity value along with some nominal cash flow benefits as well. And that leads into the contrarian claim that Cassidy champions, that cash flow here is the least valuable part of real estate investing. And it's equity appreciation and tax optimization that accounts for 60% of the total returns. But all of that it can be hard to communicate that to people. And so here's what Cassidy was doing before. And here was our process. Cassidy shared with me a bunch of resources that he shares with his community members. So he's got a Google Drive here that has all sorts of assets and resources that his community members can leverage. So we have Google Sheets here, Excel spreadsheets, and documents about Cassidy's method. There's videos here walking and explaining his program and his methodology. There's a library here of all sorts of recorded calls on different topics that community members can have access to. And then there's the community calls here as well. All of these are recorded. These are twice weekly. As well, Cassidy created this spreadsheet that his community members can use to enter different variables here and then get a response in terms of, based on different variables, based off the different input variables, how good of an investment opportunity is this? Now, Cassidy had also taken the initiative to take all of this knowledge and create a custom GPT using this system prompt here and using his framework that his community members can use to analyze deals and properties. So they can have a conversation with this custom GPT to get some of these answers that they need. And what Cassidy and I embarked on together was how to take all of this knowledge, these formulas, the knowledge that Cassidy shares in these videos, and build an app that people can use to really quickly analyze deals without having to dig through all of these different disparate resources. And here we get to jump into the good stuff and the process. So the first thing Cassidy and I did actually was we hopped on a call. And on this call, I got to interview Cassidy, and he got to share with me all of the context about his methodology, what his vision is for the tool, and what his desires were for like the nuances of the features, the calculations, etc. I used an app called Granola. You can use any really AI note-taking tool to capture the transcript. I like Granola because it doesn't insert a new user or attendee into Zoom calls, and it actually records from system audio. So it doesn't pollute the Zoom window with another AI note-taker app. I don't love to see those in there. So Granola is like the top for that. And then here I have access to the transcript as well, along with the AI generated summary and notes from this. So all of this is context, right? Like the transcript here, all of these resources that Cassidy shared with me, all these videos, this calculator, all of this is context. And what I wanted to do is take all of that context and put it into a knowledge base that I could then literally just point an AI coding agent to, and along with a spec or outline, and say, take all of this context and build the calculator, build this app idea. And so that's exactly what I did. I took this transcript, and you can see here, I use a knowledge-based tool called Obsidian. And some of you might be familiar, but Obsidian, you can just think of it as, it's almost like a Notion or a note-taking app, but instead of it being like locked into their ecosystem, Obsidian is really just a collection of text files in folders on your computer. So it's very open, and you can easily integrate it and edit it and connect it to all sorts of different tools, and it's open source. And so it's much easier to extend and to plug into AI tools and AI agents. So you can see here, let's see, I'll close all these. This is the context folder for this project. And what I was able to do is, this is the outline of the project. This is the transcript for the kickoff call. This was the outline for what we wanted to generate. And then I used an AI agent to scrape the transcripts for the top most relevant videos that Cassidy pointed me to. Out of all of these videos, Cassidy pointed out to me like the 5 or so that were the most relevant for this tool. And I was able to plug those links into Claude Code using a transcript generator, and then pull the transcripts for those videos into these documents here. So now I have all of these transcripts along with a summary of the key points in different Obsidian files. And then all of these other links and resources, I pulled them out of Google Docs into this context file. All right, so what we can do once we have all of this context in these text files, in this directory, is then we can take all that and put it into Claude Code and just say, hey, using all of this context, actually, let's just do it real quick. So I'm going to point Claude Code to this directory. So I do that by pasting the file path into Claude Code. And then I just say, I'm going to use whisper flow here, so I don't have to type. Using all of the context in this directory, please create a comprehensive product requirements document, aka PRD, that I can use to just plug into Claude Code and generate the first version of this app. We'll fire that off. Claude Code will think for a few minutes, ingest all of this context, and then it'll generate a new product requirements document. So we'll give that a minute. And then we can just take this and plug it into any vibe coding tool of our choice. Like I like Claude Code, Codex, Replit, pick your poison, and this will generate the app. And so that's what I did. I took that, I put it into I think for this one I used Claude Code, obviously. And then we got to iterate on it. So this is what we built. This is the velocity of money property underwriting tool. This is the calculator, the app. With this tool, you can either put in all of this info on your own, or you can paste like a Zillow or a Redfin or a UNet listing. It'll pull in all of this. The one thing you do have to enter here is what's your estimated revenue, and then hit analyze deal, and then it'll give you a score for that property based off of Cassidy's framework. And it includes all of these variables. It includes suggestions, how to improve the deal, a very lightweight like pro forma here in terms of what you can expect in returns over the next 5 years, comparisons for various scenarios like a base case, bull case, and a bear case, purchase price recommendations, etc. This is super valuable. Think about what Cassidy can do with this. He can take this, he can share it with his existing community members. So adding more value to the $9,000 high ticket coaching program. We can also take this and we can put a paywall in front of it and make it a downstream offer that's not like for Cassidy's audience. So if you're listening to his podcast, you're watching him on YouTube, you might not be ready yet or not in the position to do the community offer at $9,000, but like for $19 per report or for $50 a month for X number of reports, you can subscribe and access the Velocity of Money property underwriting tool. And then we could even maybe parcel out a piece of this, or maybe the first report is free and that's like a lead magnet. So it becomes a valuable asset within Cassidy's funnel, right? So we did this together, and Cassidy will tell you this has been a super exciting project, but I didn't want to leave it at that. So now I had all of this context, I had all of these resources and everything available from Cassidy, from his YouTube, his podcast, his website, etc. And I wanted to do something extra nice for Cassidy. And this is where I helped him set up essentially like a marketing framework, marketing assets, and a marketing engine that he can use to promote this tool to his audience. So again, we have all of this context here in these folders. And what I was able to do is using Claude skills, and skills are basically a repeatable template, a repeatable prompt for when you have some sort of like repetitive tasks that if you find yourself either typing the same thing or copy pasting the same thing over and over into Claude or whatever, ChatGPT, etc., you can actually turn that into a skill that you can just run over and over again. So I actually took my 11 best skills and I wrapped them up and I made them available to you. It's things like direct response copy, positioning angles, newsletter content writer, lead magnet generator. And these are all tools that you can use to create the highest quality content with the least amount of effort possible. You can check this out at lucidfuture.ai/skills. And I took all of this context and I was able to generate really quickly, first, 2 foundational assets. One is the brand voice guide, Cassidy's brand voice. And then the second were these persona documents. And this is actually something that I created that I used Perplexity to generate these personas that reflect who Cassidy serves, right? And for each of these, so we have the trapped high earner, the scattered operator, the active deal maker. For each one, we have this long document that has the demographics, psychographics, the problems that they have, what their journey is, their shifts, etc., the common mistakes that they make. It's a really in-depth piece. And the power of this is that using the persona document and then the voice document, these guide the marketing assets that we created for Cassidy. So I was able to create a copy for a landing page for Cassidy, an email sequence copy, and social media copy for different short form videos that Cassidy could use to promote the tool or to promote anything really. And we can generate these assets with just a few keystrokes or just a prompt in Claude Code. We can say, hey, using the persona document and the voice document and this Claude skill, create a new landing page, create a new email sequence. And the AI takes a minute or two, and then it generates that immediately. And here you can see, we were able to take this copy for the landing page, and then in one shot, I was able to generate this great landing page to promote the velocity of money underwriting tool that we created. And we can put a price tag on it, etc. And this is all written with like super high quality copy. Again, check out the skills I have available for you at lucidfuture.ai/skills. You can grab them there. And so, yeah, this is the full rundown of how we were able to build a whole new offer for Cassidy and a marketing engine behind it, all using the latest AI tools, the latest AI agent tools and workflows. So if that's interesting for you, if that's valuable for you, then subscribe. And then also, if you're a coach, entrepreneur, or a creator who wants someone to work with to do this for you, give me a shout. This is what we're all about. You can check us out at lucidfuture.ai or shoot me an email at alan@lucidfuture.ai. And I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.